Okay, first thing you gotta do is chalk your wheels. Okay, once you got your wheels chalked, 3-point contact. The rail, the door, and the steps. The way you go in, you come out the same way. Okay, so for my first test will be my 6 items. Number 1 is my seatbelt. I want to make sure my seatbelt is not ripped or torn and it latches and unlatches properly. Number 2, my gear shifter. It is in neutral. Number 3, my knobs are pulled out. Number 4, my clutch, no more than 2 inches of play. Number 5, my steering wheel. It's not cracked, broken, or missing any parts. And number 6 will be my air gauge. I have a primary and a secondary. I'll be working only on my primary. I have to be below 80 to do a safe start. Okay, so I'm gonna turn the truck on the on position so I can read the needle. Okay, I gotta be below 80, so I'm gonna bring it down to 75. Okay, my needle's at 75. Now I can do my safe start. Clutch in, double check I'm in neutral, and start. Slowly release the clutch. Okay, so for my first test is the cutout and the apply leakage test together. Okay, make sure you say together. Okay, so for the cutout is when the governor turns off the compressor, no more than 140 psi, and then I'll perform my apply leakage test. So to begin is I'm going to accelerate 12 to 15 RPMs until my needle stops. That will be my cutout. Again, the cutout is when the governor turns off the compressor, no more than 140 psi. Okay, my needle stopped at 125. This is a good test because I didn't go over 140. Okay, notice I kept the accelerator on. The RPM is still going. So now that I mentioned it's a good test, let go of the accelerator, immediately turn it off. Leave it in the on position, push in the parking and push in the emergency. Okay, so now my next test is the apply leakage test. I should not lose more than 4 pounds of pressure in 60 seconds. To perform it, I will hold the service brakes for the whole entire 60 seconds. I push the service brake, wait till the needle stabilizes, read the needle, and wait 60 seconds. Okay, my needle stabilized at 100. Time starts. "30 seconds in, I am listening for air leaks inside and outside the cab. I am still at 100 psi. Okay, 60 seconds are up. I didn't lose any pound of pressure. I'm still at 100, making this a good test. Now I can release the service brake. Do not release it until you say it's a good or a bad test. Okay, my next test is the low pressure warning device. My light and my alarm should turn on between 75 and 55. Okay, I will read the needle as soon as the light and alarm turn on, not when it stabilizes. I read the needle first before I fan my brakes. So my needle is at 100 psi. Now I fan my brakes. I'll read the needle as soon as the light and the alarm turn on. Okay, my light and my alarm turned on at 70 psi, making this a good test because it was between 75 and 55. Next is my spring brake pop out. My spring brake should pop out between 45 and 20. Again, read the needle before I start. My needle is at 60 psi. Now I can fan my brakes. Read the needle as soon as they pop out. 45, 40. There it is. At 40 psi, my spring brakes popped out, making this a good test. So now that my brakes are activated, I will remove my chocks. Three-point contact. Remove your chocks. Three-point contact, come back in. And then remember, safety first. So you gotta put your seatbelt back on. Now I could do my safe start. Clutch in, double check I'm in neutral, and start. Slowly release the clutch. If you release it too fast, it's an automatic fail. My next test is my max. Accelerate 12 to 15 RPMs. Again, till my needle stops. Okay, I reached my max. So now I'm gonna check my 4 brakes. Parking, emergency, trolley, and service brake. I'll test it in that order. Clutch in. Put in low gear. And then push in the emergency because I want to check my parking. Slowly release the clutch. Once I feel a tug and vibration, that indicates it is a good test. Okay, that tug and vibration, it is a good test. So now I'm gonna check my emergency. Pull out the emergency, push in the parking. Repeat the process. Tug and vibration indicates a good test. So now I'll check my trolley. Pull down the trolley, push in the emergency, and hold the trolley lever with your left hand, and repeat the process. Okay, that tug and vibration indicates a good test. So now I'm gonna check my service brake. Push in the service brake, release the trolley brake. Now this one, I'm gonna go 5 feet. My hands are going to hover over the steering wheel. My hands will not touch the steering wheel, and my steering wheel should not move left to right. If it does, that indicates my brakes need adjustment. So I'm gonna go 4 to 5 feet, let go of the brake, let go of the clutch, slowly, and move forward. So you notice I have nothing, I push both of them at the same time. Okay, my steering wheel did not move left to right. This indicates it is a good, the brakes are well adjusted. So now I'll put myself in neutral, pull out the parking brake, release the service brake slowly, and release the clutch slowly. This concludes my air brake inspection. Now is my in-cab inspection. My door, it opens and closes properly. My windows go up and down properly. My mirrors are not cracked, broken, or illegal stickers, well adjusted. My windshield is not cracked, broken, or illegal stickers, and the weather seal around it is not ripped or torn. My wipers, when you check the wipers, make sure you squirt the water out. My wipers are working properly. The blades are not ripped or torn. My heater and defroster, they're both working properly. My brake knobs are pulled out. My gear shifter is not cracked, broken, or illegally welded, and no more than 2 inches of play. My clutch, no more than 2 inches of play. My steering wheel is not cracked, broken, or missing parts, and no more than 2 inches of play. My air horn for the country, my electric horn for the city. My left, my right directional signal, it is also my emergency flashers. They're working properly. Okay, now my lights, low for the city, high for the country. And then when I turn it off, if I have fog lights, for foggy conditions only. And then my emergency compartment contains 3 reflecting triangles, an extra box of fuse, a fire extinguisher, up to date, fully charged at the green, with the cotter pin going through it and the clamp around it, tight and secure. Now my oil, between 30 to 60, my water below 180, my RPM, I give it gas and let it go, it's working properly. And then my speed, I'll check while in motion. My Permanent will go outside and start checking your lights.